Hi students, welcome to SFS Khammam online classes. This is your Vijay Kumar sir teaching social studies 8th class. My dear children, all of you follow our YouTube channel. Channel name is Vijay sir YouTube channel. Just subscribe and like so that you can get notifications of our lessons every day. So kindly follow our lessons so that it is very helpful for you to write the examinations and also get the good marks. Okay, without wasting our time, let's get started. Thank you. My dear students, today we are going to learn about make a population map. My dear students, what do you mean by population? Population is the whole number of people living in an area such as town or city. So here the total number of people living in an area is called as population. Understood, my dear? So here how to draw this population density map? What kind of measurements we have to take? What kind of data we have to collect? And what kind of formula we have to use to find out this population density. So here before going to learn this concept, here we have to do one example to better understanding. So here for example, you draw a sketch map of our school and different classrooms. So here I am sharing one example here. See, this is a school having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 classes. Understood, my dear? So each class you have to find out the number of students in each class and put one small line for every 5 students of the class. For example, here in first class 40 students are there. How many students? 40 students are there, 40. So each 5 students you have to mention one line. So that means 40 students means how many lines we have to draw? 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 8 lines are indicating 40 students. In the same way, here also 30 students are there in the second class. How many lines we have to draw? 6 lines. 6 5s are 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Similarly, you can also draw the or count the number of students in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. By doing all these, you came to know that the total population of your school. Understood, my dear? So here easy way, and by using this small technique, okay, we are reducing the calculations. At the same time, shortcut way we are going to find out the population of our school. And also here, my dear students, so don't target to write in the key box how many students each line represents. Should not forget that each line is indicating 5 students. Compulsory you have to mention this one in the bottom side. Compulsory. Because whenever any other student observing this map, he should understand, yes, this line is indicating 5 students. So this is the measurement or scale of our map. So this type of scale compulsory you have to measure, you have to show on the map. So now coming to the point, my dear children, so how to find out this population density in the map? So here population can also be shown on a map through shading. What is that? Through shading. Here see, my dear children, here I am showing you population map of India 2020. Coming to population density map, what do you mean by population density? Population density is the number of people living in a unit area of the earth surface. Understood, my dear? So population density is nothing but the number of people living in an unit area. Understood? So population can also be shown on a map through shading. So here you see the map, here different colors they used. Okay, so red color is having highest population density rate, another green color is having lowest population density rate. Understood, my dear? And also yellow color, here different colors are indicating different population densities. So these are called as population density maps. My dear children, here you have to learn some technique. So how to find this population density? For this, first we estimate the total number of people living in an area. Understood? So here, for example, in a village, so 1000 people are there. Okay, 1000 people are there in a village, particular land I am talking about, particular land I am talking. So in that land 1000 people are there. Okay, this is example only. So how to find out this population density? Here you have to measure the total area of that land. For example, total area of that land is 10 square kilometers. Okay, 10 square kilometers. So now you have to apply the formula, that is total population or total area of that place divided by total population. Population means people living in that area. So by cancellation of these three zeros you will get 100. So 100 per square kilometer, 100 members will be there for square kilometers. For like this way, by using this same technique or method, we can find out the density of population of the states and cities. So here easily we can understand, my dear children. So first of all, we have to estimate the density, that means population, people living in that area. After that measurement of that total area. So population density is equal to total area divided by estimated people living in that area. By cancellation of this, you will get the population density rate of that particular land. Understood, my dear? So in our textbook also they have given table gives the population density of different states. So here we observe page number 10 in our textbook. So they have given different density rates of population based on the year 2011, that means census report according to 2011. Okay, every 10 years census rate recording will be there. So likewise 2011, that means 2021 next year will count. Okay, so here in this map you observe or table you observe the highest population density rate is there in Bihar. Okay, what is, how much it is? 1102. Lowest population density rate is there in Arunachal Pradesh, that is 17. Okay, and our Telangana, it is population density rate is 307. So likewise here different states are having different population density rates. My dear children, here I am going to give you one task. So by observing here colors, observe 0 to 250 yellow color, 251 to 500 blue color, 501 to 750 green color, 751 to 1000 red color, 1000 above brown color. Understood, my dear? So all of you draw this map in your notebooks, and also states also you record, and finally you apply the colors according to the tabular information. Understood, my dear? So this is a task for you. All of you complete this, and this is, it is a part of our project work. Understood? So take the measurements or take the example of this tabular information, and colors also exactly you take, and all of you draw this India map and states and color according to the density of population table. Understood, my dear? And the next one is convention symbols on maps. So here, while map makers usually use their own symbols, okay, sometimes symbols are used conventionally by most map makers. Understood, my dear? Right from the ancient days to nowadays, we observed many maps. Understood? There are some common universal features will be there. For example, in order to show water, you have to indicate blue color. In order to show forests, green color will be there. Okay, in order to show mountains and plateaus and all, brown colors, right? So all these colors they have to use commonly. Understood? By otherwise, for example, India they used one color, Australia they used another color, Europe countries they used another color, and North America, South America, if they use different color, then it is very difficult to understand. So that is what, so many map makers or cartographers, so they use this conventional symbol, that is traditional symbols in their maps while making maps. So in our India also we usually follow the conventions used by the Survey of India. Who is the Surveyor General of Survey of India? Already we discussed in the last class, right? What is that? Survey of India General, James Rennell. So James Rennell, so he created survey, he conducted Survey of India. From that time onwards, so the symbols, our India also they followed symbols from that Survey of India. So here, see for example, the conventional symbols given below the topo sheets of Survey of India. So here they have given some symbols: towns and villages, inhabited, desert, fort. So they used these symbols. Okay, huts, permanent, temporary, towers, antiquities. So they showed this one, and temple, churches, mosques. This showed this one, lighthouses. Okay, so likewise you can also go through here, my dear children. So palms, trees. Okay, green color, boundaries, international boundaries, state. Okay, districts, different dots, also lines also they mentioned here. Okay, PO means post office. Okay, PS means police station, telegraph office. Okay, so likewise they mentioned different conventional symbols in order to understand and in order to show easily on the map. Understood, my dear? So here conventional symbols are also help us to recognize the location or recognize the part in that land very easily, and it is very easy to observe, and it is very easy for us, the pilgrims also they can observe all these, where the temples located, where the parks located. So they can easily trace out from by using this conventional symbols maps. Okay, so already we discussed in the first class pictographical graphs or maps. So this shows the pictures. By using pictures it is very easy to understand. Understood, my dear? So here roads also they mentioned. So different metal roads, kacha roads, right? And also here railway tracks. Okay, and rivers, banks, lakes, okay, rocks, all these you can also go through once in your textbook. It is very easy to follow, very easy to understand. These symbols are very useful for us to show the locations. For example, here by using this map, one example I will share you. So here Charminar is there. Okay, Charminar for example. So in the Charminar north direction, where is the mosque? That means masjid. So here masjid is located. Okay, so it is very easy for us to indicate, and also it is very easy for trace out the pilgrims. Okay, trace out by the pilgrims. So they can use this kind of techniques in the conventional symbols on a map. Understood, my dear? This is very easy concept. And next one is representation of relief features on maps. What is this? Representation of relief features on maps. So what do you mean by relief features? Relief features means the high and low areas on the surface of the earth. The high and low areas of the surface of the earth. So, here the main relief features are hills. What is that? Hills, valleys, plateaus, plains, river basins, rocky and sandy places. Understood, my dear? So, these are all called relief features. So, here you can also see the picture: plains, valleys, lakes, rivers, hills, mountains, terrains. Okay, all these are called as relief features. So, here the problem is, my dear children, since the maps are flat, we cannot show this height of different places on them. Understood, my dear? We cannot show these height places on the map. So, how to show this? That is the problem here. So, we therefore use a special symbol for this called contours or contour lines. In order to show this relief features on the map, we are going to use these lines called as contour lines. This you have already read in the 7th class. So, what do you mean by contour lines? Contours are the lines on the map joining places of same height measured from the sea level. Understood, my dear? So, here I will show you one example. For example, this is one map. This is one hill. Okay. So, here how to measure this contour lines? So, here this is sea level, for example. Okay, here another circle they drawn. This is one circle, ground level, another circle they drawn, and third circle this one, fourth circle this one, fifth circle next one, and sixth, like this. So, if you take these circles like this, the shape will come like this. Understood, my dear? So, here contour lines are the lines on the map joining places of same height. Understood? This is, for example, here if you take the ground level, that is 20 meters, here 50 meters, here 100 meters, here 150, 200, like that. Okay. The same length will come here also. The same length will come here also. So, that is, here in our contour lines usually drawn at fixed intervals of height such as 20 meters, 50 meters or 100 meters. So, uniform contour interval is maintained between the lines on a given map. So, here likewise, if they draw these contour lines, and it is very easy to show on the flat map where the mountains, how much it was occupied. So, everything they can show on the flat surface by using this contour lines. I hope you understood very clearly, children. Contour lines are nothing but the lines are joining the places of the same height. These lines are going to show the same height of the place. So, that is what these contour lines are also called as isolines. Understood? So, here you can take example of any other thing, any object you can take, and easily you can draw these contour lines. Understood? In your textbook also many examples given there, contour lines of different shapes. So, gentle slope, steep slope, plateaus. So, how they drawn these contour lines in order to measure the length of that particular object, and also how they are going to show this length in the map also very clearly they have given, my dear children. Okay. So, here before going to next concept, here you have to see this is one of the relief feature, that is valley. Okay. Valley means a low area of land between hills or mountains. For example, these two are hills. Okay. So, here the river is passing through this. Am I right or not? And you can also see another example. This is one mountain and this is another mountain, and river is passing like this. Understood? So here valley means a low area of land between two hills or two mountains, okay, between the mountains or hills with a river flowing through it is called as valley. Understood, my dear? So here this is picture of relief feature of valley, and this is mountains, this is plateaus, and this is sandy places. So here next one is, this is river basins, okay, river basins. Under this many acres of lands also will cultivated by this with the help of river basins, okay. Next, this is, you observe contour lines, okay. So here the lines were drawn on the map joining places of same height. Understood? Same height they drawn. For example, here from the sea level they drawn 500, okay. So same here 0 to 500, 0 to 500, 500 to 1000, 1000 to 1500, 200, 2000, 2500, 3000, 3500 and center, okay. So they showed this flat surface area, okay. In this, instead of this showing this height place, they showed this area with the flat contour lines. Understood, my dear? It is very easy to indicate this type of relief features on the map by using this contour lines. I hope you understood very clearly, right? And also here contour lines give an indication of the slope of the land as well as the elevation of above sea level. So it is showing the indication of slope. So here you can also see the indication of slope, how much slope it is, okay. Here I am going to show you. So slope like this, okay. So here, and also we can find out the elevation of above sea level, okay, how much elevation, okay. This also we can show here. See, elevation is high elevation, okay. Likewise you can also see this. And wherever contour lines are far apart, wherever contour lines are far apart, it represents a gentle slope. For example, here the contour lines, the distance between contour lines are far apart, that indicates, okay, that indicates it is having gentle slope, that means very less slope. Closer lines represents slope, steep slope, and uniformly spaced lines represents uniform slope. So here these three things you have to remember, my dear children. Whenever contour lines are far apart, that means the distance between two lines is far, it represents gentle slope. Understood? When the two lines are very closer lines, it represents steep slope, that means high depth, okay, high steep slope will be there, and uniform spaced lines represents uniform slope. These three things you have to remember for your examination point of view. Sometimes they may ask, when the contour lines are far apart between the two lines, it represents dash, gentle slopes. When the contour lines, okay, represents steep slope, then the contour lines, and uniformly spaced lines represents uniform slopes. So likewise you read out all the things. Understood, my dear? Next one is atlas. What is that? Atlas. Atlas also you know very well, in our schools also we are maintaining this world atlas encyclopedia. So atlas is nothing but is a collection of maps. What do you mean by atlas? Atlas is a collection of maps, usually arranged according to different themes, okay. You can also see in your atlas map, different maps are there in that atlas book. You can find out useful information about different places and use it to imagine the life of people living there. By observing this World Atlas book, you can also know that yes, what is the lifestyle of different people living in different states. Okay, by using this Atlas book, we came to know that what kind of lands are there, what kind of soils are there, what type of living people are there, what kind of languages they are spoken. Okay, and what type of crops are growing there, what type of climates are there, rainfalls are there, temperatures are there, what not, everything we can also learn from this Atlas book by observing different types of maps. Here my dear children, so they have given Telangana relief and drainage map. You can also see this is another relief map. And next one here, Telangana mean annual rainfall. So here high rainfall is indicating green color, normal rainfall that means 70 to 100 centimeter, they indicated blue color, sky blue color, right? So likewise, naturally our Khammam is getting both is there, both what do you call, high is there, normal is there. So you can also see Khammam district is having two types of climates. Okay, and next one, this is Telangana soils. So here red color is indicating red soil, and also gray color is indicating black soil. Understood? Our Khammam is having red soil. By observing this map, we can say. Understood? Here you can also say what is the Jagityala having lands. So Jagityala is having red soil. What is the land of Adilabad? Adilabad is having black soil. Okay. What is the lands are having in Nizamabad? Both red soil and black soils. So by observing these maps, we can easily trace out the lands what it has. Understood, my dear? So here next concept is aerial photography. So that means aerial photography is a technique of taking a photograph of the ground from an elevated position using aircrafts, helicopters, hot air balloons, etc. Understood, my dear? So here aerial photography is nothing but it is a technique to take the picture from the elevated position. So how to take these photographs? Sometimes if earthquakes or any disasters happen in our country or states, our chief minister and prime ministers, they'll see by aerial survey. That means they'll go by helicopters or aircrafts or hot air balloons, and from there they will observe and they will take the photographs from the elevated position. That is called aerial photography. Okay, aerial photographs are not maps. You have to remember this. Aerial photographs are not maps. So here another picture I am showing you. This is also one of the picture of aerial photography. So you can also observe like this. It was taken from the aircrafts or helicopters, right? And next one is satellite imagery. Okay, these are called satellite images. Satellite imageries or images are the photographs of the earth taken by the artificial satellites launched into the space. So what we launched the space, that means rockets. From that rockets or satellites we are taking the photographs. Okay, that photographs are called as satellite images. These are used in many ways, that is making maps, planning, meteorology, forestry, warfare, etc. Okay, mainly we use here meteorology. That means here what do you call environmental estimation. Okay, so what kind of climate changes are there, any climate changes are happening here or not. So likewise you can also observe, for example, sometimes in Bay of Bengal what is that, in Bay of Bengal any what do you call this type of storms are coming or not. Okay, so likewise, so they will estimate and they will give the, before only they will give the intimation by observing this okay, satellite images. So this department, meteorology department, they will estimate and tsunamis are coming or not, and also they can use this forestry, making of maps, planning, warfare, these type of things they will use this satellite images. Understood, my dear? So this is all about your first lesson. So here, my dear children, in your textbook you observe the some important questions are there. Study the school atlas carefully by looking at the various thematic maps. Understood, my dear? So in your school atlas, if you have atlas book in your house, you just look at the maps, all various thematic maps they were put into that book. So you just go through once. By observing that, you came to know different points. And also here they have given on tabular information. Do you think the use of maps has changed from the time of ancient Greeks to now? In what way they similar and different? So here, right from the Sumerians to up to now Britishers, we saw many maps. So did you find any difference between them? Many differences are there. You just write down the features, what the differences here, or similarities and differences you just mention in this tabular information. Understood? Same way here also some more 3-4 questions given, you go through easily, you can understand the question and answers. So kindly finish your classwork as soon as possible. Very soon we are going to correct your classworks, and also next class I am going to give you project work as well as one online test also I will prepare, so that it is very easy for you to write the examination. So all of you get ready, examination by the next class. Okay, that means day after tomorrow I am going to give you link, that is online link I will give you, so that you can also enter by yourself, and by entering your name, class, school name, you can write the examination. After finishing your examination, the score will be immediately it will come. Okay, so I will also observe that how many are attending and all. Based on that examination only you are going to promote in the next class. Kindly inform your students also. Simply you are relaxing. Online classes you are taking very easily, very sillily you are taking. You are not at all serious about this online classes. My dear children, it is kindly a gentle remind you. So all of you remember these classes are very very important, and we are going to take it as a serious, and those who attend these examinations only we are going to promote you. Remaining students we won't promote. Okay, so I hope you understood this class and you enjoyed a lot. Okay, so thank you. We'll see you in the next class with another chapter. Until then, take care. Bye bye.